Chewbacca. A mighty warrior nearly 2 centuries old, Chewbacca has fallen upon hard times during this age of the expanding empire. Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we're reviewing Chewbacca from the Solo movie. This guy was an exclusive for Target, and currently at the moment he's at the Entertainer for $11.99 or £11, and that's where I got him. So with Solo, I did actually put that movie off after watching The Last Jedi. I thought, no more, don't want to watch it, I'm done with Star Wars, that's it, I'm done. And my love started slowly coming back, and I did watch Solo. And if you guys are still out there and haven't watched that movie, go watch it, because it will put your faith back into Star Wars. Forget everything that you've seen before, forget everything you've heard. It's a good film. So here he is, Chewie. So I don't know why he was an exclusive figure at all, because he's pretty much a main character. It's like having Batman and Robin. You can't get is an exclusive character somewhere else. You know, it's part of a double team. So with his box anyway, he's down here. He's got his nice picture of Chewie with his goggles on from the heist in the movie, and he's got no number because he was the exclusive. And on the back is his bio with his picture. So without further ado, let's crack this bad Wookiee open. Wowee, he's a big boy. So here he is in his blister pack, and he's got 2 accessories that we can see. We've got his goggles, and we've got his kind of pump action shotgun there. So yeah, he's looking all pretty mean and pretty cool. So we'll pull him out of the pack, take some photos with him, and then I'll show those at the end of the video as always, and give you a full review. So let's get him out. What our first impressions? Yeah, he just feels a lot bigger than most of the Black series. To be honest, he seems to be too big, but I'll do some comparisons a little bit later with a few characters. But yeah, I absolutely love Chewie. He's my favourite character in Star Wars, so I'm happy to have a Chewbacca in my collection. But it's just sort of dawned on me that I haven't got Han Solo at all, so it'd be funny with what I'd be putting these pictures with. So I'll go away with Chewie now, and I'll come back later with a full review. So welcome back. Here he is, Mr. Chewie, and we've been away, we've had a play, taken a few photos, which I'll show at the end of the video. And yeah, you know, as all Black series, he's pretty good, but there's a few buts. So here he is. He has 2 accessories. He has his SX scatter blaster rifle, and also he's got his goggles. So we start off with his blaster. And do you know what? The paint apps on this gun is pretty cool. you know, it's got that kind of sort of gun used look, and it's got this lighter bit on the end here, which kind of looks like, you know, it's actually been blasted quite a few times and it's kind of worn out. And it's got that wood sort of stock on the here and the handle, and this little sort of handle here, which kind of looks like you would kind of use it like this. But I've got the visual dictionary next to me for Solo movie, and this bit sticks up, so I don't know whether it's like a viewfinder or just something that's there, or maybe something just to pump the shell out. But it comes in the box like this, but in the book it looks like that. So we've got the pump part here, and this actually moves, which is pretty cool. And yeah, to be honest, I think it's probably the better blaster guns that's ever come out. I think, you know, it's nothing sort of we've seen before really. It's an actual cool shotgun, and what a cool weapon to give to Chewie. He always gets the cool ones. He gets the bowcaster, and now he's got a pump action shotgun. So this can just fit in his hand. It does come with two kind of trigger hands, but this one's a lot tighter than this one, and this one's got a really big handle. So it's still a little bit tight to try and get it in his hand. But the downside is, because he's got a really small hand this side, you can't really get a double weapon pose because he won't fit, and unfortunately it won't go over the actual pump part. So you're going to have to kind of sort of slide it over the end, just kind of get him to sort of double hold it, which is a shame, because if he could hold that part, that'd be brilliant. That's his scatter blaster. So the other accessory he comes with is obviously his little goggles, and they can just peel over his eyes, nice and see-through, and they're in the right place as well, which is pretty cool. And they're just held on with this kind of elastic, and you've got to be careful, because if they're not on properly, which you can sit him on his head, he's got that kind of sort of Return to the Jedi sort of haircut, but they will kind of ping off and never to be seen again. So also looking at accessories as well, we can also class his bandolier an accessory, as it is removable, which we can just pop that off, and it just over his head and over his arm. And yeah, we've got that sort of silver chrome part on his sort of like gun shells there, and that goes around on a few little sort of bags and on there. Unfortunately, the leather look on this looks a little bit plastic. They've kind of gone with the sort of little black wash on there, but it just looks a little bit flat. It would have been nice to get some sort of like worn leather look on there. There was kind of like a little fold bit there, but that's about it really. And that can just slide back over him. Which is ideal if you wanted to do a custom sort of Wookiee and just change his colour. There is a little slight indent here though for this bandolier, the shape of the V, just so it sort of fits on Chewie just nicely, and it doesn't move around, and it goes under his neck. So we're looking at that, we can start looking at his posability. Now, as you can imagine, the posability on Chewie is kind of a bit hindered, because everywhere you sort of look, there's sort of this sort of extra sort of hair hanging over his joints, which obviously gives off that kind of shaggy look, because if it just finished at the joints, it would look a little bit naff. But we'll start with his head. So his head is very hindered. Obviously, you got this part here and around on the back, and you got the bandolier. But with a little bit of force, you could try and get his head to turn. You could just sort of pop it over the top of the bandolier, and you can get a bit more range on it than you probably should be able to. It kind of can look up, and it kind of can look down, but really it's more in the body kind of sort of movement you're going to get that. So his arms go up, he's got rotation up here, he's got rotation at that elbow, and it can do about a 90 degree, but sometimes it gets pushed down because of that hair. He's got a hand rotation and a hinge, but I've noticed with this elbow it doesn't really get up to the 90. You have to kind of sort of spin it out, otherwise it does pop back down. Might be because of the weight of the gun as well. So he's got a bit of rotation that is kind of sort of like just above his waist, and he's got a crunch on there as well. You can sort of look down and you can look back, and then he's got this extra longer part that goes over his legs, but it doesn't really sort of hinder too much. You know, it just looks a bit like a bear action man down there. But yeah, he can kick up this far, and he can kick back this far, and his legs can go out. He's got an upper thigh rotation, but mine are a little bit frozen. But yeah, I'm not going to move those. They're going to need a hairdryer or something. But yeah, they're really frozen. So he's got a rotation at the knee. And it's just a single joint knee, which it wouldn't work anyway, because obviously all this sort of extra sort of vinyl-y kind of sort of plastic overlay that you have. And also his foot kind of has a rocker. It kind of has a pivot as well. But again, it's really hindered, and it's really kind of sculpted inside that hair there, and it's not really going to move much. So in all, yeah, his posability, really, I think what you get out of the figure is not too bad. It could be a lot worse. You know, it could be you're not going to get much movement or at all, but you know, I think he's probably got more movement than some of the figures that don't really have any of this sort of hinderment on there. And also he's got quite a wide feet arch as well, because he's got these extra bits here. You can actually get him in a lot more sort of bigger, more dynamic sort of poses, because obviously he's such a big, larger in life character that you could actually sort of emphasize those looks in photos. But going for that, we can start looking at his sculpt as well. So starting from his head, and it's kind of a nice reminiscence of Chewie. Actually, I haven't got any of the other Chewbaccas to compare, but yeah, you know, he's pretty cool. He's kind of got the more sort of look of the Return of the Jedi Chewie, and rather than any of the other Chewbaccas. And it's even more reminiscent to Return of the Jedi than even Solo, I think, because he had more of that sort of swept back look in the middle. But yeah, he's sculpted all the way down. You know, you've got his eyes, and they're not too bad, considering it's not like the sort of photo look on there. And he's just got his hair all sculpted all over, and it's pretty much the same all the way down. The only thing you can look at really is like the difference in paint applications, where it goes from like the darker to the light to the darker again. And he's got his hands there, just kind of sort of just like a bare grey, which always goes all the way down to his feet. Into there. So yeah, in all, you know, I think he's a good figure, and especially like having Chewbacca in your collection and from Solo. So I guarantee I will be getting some more Solo figures to go with Chewie here. And yeah, he's pretty good. So obviously one of the sort of things I kept thinking about is his size too big? And I think, I don't know, it's hard to tell really. This is Princess Leia Black Series. Only joking. We've got Padme here, and she from the review the other day. And do you know what? Is he too tall? I don't know. It says in the book that he's 7'8", which is pretty tall, to be honest. And I don't think Natalie Portman is all that high. So yeah, I think it is probably about right, to be honest. But it'd be nice to get a Han Solo soon and sort of compare them together and have them in a nice pose together. So yeah, apart from him not holding his pump action and a little bit of his articulation in his legs, you know, I think that's my sort of like nitpickies at him. But no, apart from that, for 11 quid at the Entertainer at the moment, it's definitely worth a pick up. Action figure wise, is definitely a pick up. You know, in your collection, obviously you're going to get him, and on your shelf, well, it's Chewie. You're never going to say no, are you? So guys, that's been my review of Chewbacca from Solo. Comment down below if you're going to pick him up, or if you already got him, if you like him. You can follow me on Instagram, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.